Thank you, brothers and sisters. Just a quick announcement here. You will have seen that there are raffle tickets being sold. We've got 80 raffle tickets left to go, and they're $2 a ticket. The proceeds of that are going towards SOS Chrétien d'Orient, which you are familiar with, most of you. It's going to Christians in Syria and Iraq, particularly, that have suffered terribly over the years. So if we could sell those last tickets at $2 a ticket, the raffle will be drawn tomorrow after the 10:30 Mass. Thank you for your assistance.
And now ask you for your attention, please. Andrew Vaccaro has a very important announcement to make about the alliance of the two hearts of Jesus and Mary. So I ask you to listen very carefully and be quiet while he speaks. Thank you.
Thank you. What they didn't give me a chance to read out before was the Alliance of the Two Hearts will be running a youth conference in January called The Door, which will be for 12 to 25-year-olds. So please speak to them tonight if you're interested, or if you know anyone else that would be interested for a spiritual evangelical retreat. And if you could, donations are highly appreciated. On every table there's a basket. If you'd like to contribute, turn those baskets around and please leave your contributions there. And they will also be selling CDs, so please go see them if you're interested. Okay, now to the other matter of the night. Sadly, after 2 years with us, we now have to wish farewell to our Assistant Parish Priest, Father Kevin Williams. He has been heavily involved within our parish and parish groups over these 2 years, and on behalf of the parishioners and parish groups, we thank him for all he has done. Please give him a round of applause. Hang on a sec.
So I want to thank each and every one of you for your time here in St Gerard.
Hey, you can hang them. He has left me. What's that?
Do we have a Father Williams in the house?
No. Hang on, I've still got something else to read.
Go back to Scotland.
No, yes. I'll continue on. He's left big shoes to fill. And also, I'd like to quickly draw your attention to a recent article which was in November's Melbourne Catholic magazine, which featured an interview with Father Williams by an up-and-coming young author. A copy is on each table for you to all to read, along with the intended interview. Yes. I sent the link out. There we go. Yeah, and I interviewed Father Williams. Yeah. So there's a copy on the table for everyone to read. Is he still here? Is he here? No? Oh, he's still got a while to come yet. Okay. I will say though, with Father Williams leaving us, Mass will no longer feel like I'm watching an episode of Star Trek. Hey, Captain, it's not good. I can't give you more work power. The wheel burns the strain. I can't change the laws of physics, Captain. Oh, finally. Oops. Now, without further ado, I'll ask Father Arthur to come up and say a few words about Father Williams. Yeah. Father?
Please.
Father Arthur?
Thank you, Andrew. So, as you know, Father Williams, well, where is he actually? Ah. Come up here, Father, come, please. Everybody give Father Williams a round of applause. Father Kevin Williams. Father's going to be here actually until the 10th of January, but tonight is the night where we're doing a friendly official send-off to Father. It's been 2 years, just over 2 years since Father Williams came to St Gerard's. I'm sure you will agree he's made a big impact here on many of your lives. I know some of you here, he's married, he's brought into the church. Some of you, he has baptised your babies. I'm sure all of you, he's heard your confessions. Father says he wouldn't remember. That's what he says. Father came to us from St Fidelis over at Moreland, and he said at the time you could tell it was a real wrench for him to leave there. But he had heard about St Gerard's and he was looking forward to coming here in his next stage of priestly life. And he has been a great assistance to me personally at St Gerard's. It's a very big parish. It's one of the biggest in the Archdiocese of Melbourne. And it's good to have a priest on hand who is energetic, who is competent, who is conscientious. I wasn't going to say funny, but I guess now that you mention it, yeah, funny. No, he has been a great help to all of us. He does have a sense of humour. In fact, you know, I must also say, when Father came, I said, okay, Father's a very good-natured man, and when he came, I said, well, it's going to be bad cop and good cop. But then now, after 2 years, I think I've created a monster, and now it's bad cop and good cop. I'm the one that has to calm people down.
I prefer bad cop and worse cop.
Yes, welcome to the very loving community of St Gerard's. Father Williams is a serious priest. He takes his priesthood seriously, and for that it's been a pleasure to work with him. He's been a great example to me and a great support, not just in the work, but spiritually to me. He's been a great friend. It sounds like almost a eulogy, doesn't it? And I'm sure he will continue to be a great friend as well, not just to me, but to St Gerard's, and I'm sure we'll see him again. Now, I said to Father Williams, you're going away, you know, we've got to get you some gifts. What would you like? And he said, well, I don't want anything because I don't need anything. And it's true, as priests, we don't really want for anything. We don't need a great deal. I said, well, there's got to be something you want. And he said, well, I am trying to learn how to sing the parts of the Mass. So if you could get me like a keyboard or something that I could sing, then that I could learn with, that would be handy. So, Father, the first gift we want to present you with, St Gerard's.
I asked for a keyboard, not a baby grand piano.
But this isn't all. Well, there's more. Yes, he also asked me if we could get him some travelling cruet sets. One of the things about Father Williams is he does like to travel, usually by foot up in the mountains. You might not know this actually, but every Monday morning at about 3:30 in the morning he's off. Slight exaggeration perhaps. Maybe about 8:30.
It's Tuesday morning.
On Tuesday morning, beg your pardon. So he goes off, but he does go off up into the mountains, and he likes to take his binoculars and look out all across the sites of Melbourne. He's a great navigator, Father Williams. And I suppose also he wanted to go up there and say Mass from time to time, I'm not sure, but he asked for travelling cruets. Unfortunately, I couldn't locate any travelling cruets in time, but I thought, he's a priest, so we better get him something specifically Catholic as well. So, all I could think of was a book. But this is a great book. It's The Life of Christ. Have you already got this? He hasn't got it. It's The Life of Christ by Fulton Sheen. Some of you may have read that. And there's a lot of great insights, and I've found it a great source for preaching as well, and meditation. So that was the Catholic gift. The priests, we've got chalices, we've got vestments, or enough vestments, and we've got all of that. So we don't really need that. But another thing about Father is that he's a sort of bloke who will roll up his sleeves and get in and just do stuff when it needs to be done. So I asked him, how's his toolkit going? He said there was a bit of a lack of some things. So we've got him some spanners.
Yet, when the parish of St Joseph starts falling apart, I can put it back together again.
If it ain't fixed, it ain't broken. And also, you specifically asked for a socket kit. Isn't that lovely?
I feel like it's Christmas already.
However, if anybody has gotten to know Father Williams in a more, from a closer range, there's something about Father Williams that particularly stands out, and that is his love of cats. Father Williams is totally obsessed with cats, beyond the normal definition of obsessed.
I'm cat-holic.
So we got him another book. The Lion in the Living Room, How House Cats Tamed Us and Took Over the World. Because I think they've definitely taken over Father Williams' world. And then, finally, something to hang on the wall at St Joseph's. You know those people on Facebook that are always liking and sharing those cute cat videos? Father Williams is number one amongst them. Anyhow, so to hang up and to entertain himself, there's another calendar for St Joseph's. But on a more serious note then, really we do want to thank Father Williams for all of his spiritual assistance for all of us. He will always be part of our memories, part of our family at St Gerard's, and he will always be welcome back here. In fact, I've got him lined up to do the hospital work over January. Just kidding. So once more, will you please thank Father Williams with a rousing round of applause.
Sorry to begin with a bit of a sour note. When I popped over to the presbytery, I noticed there's a car parked in the priest's car park. It's a white... It's a white Toyota Land Cruiser, and it's currently parked in front of my garage. If the hospital pager goes off, I can't get to it. So if you parked your car in the presbytery car park, could you please move it? As Father Arthur mentioned, I do take the priestly ministry seriously. I need access out the garage. A question I'm frequently asked, Father, what's the hardest sacrifice to make as a priest? What's the hardest promise you've got to make to God? And I've got to tell you, the hardest promise is obedience. Obedience. Those who attended Mass tonight would have heard me preach about obedience. And a good way to understand it, obedience is like signing a series of blank checks to God, enabling him to draw whatever he wants, whenever he wants to do so from you. And that's why it's so difficult. But it's through the gift of obedience that a priest is able to grow and develop into the person that God calls him to be, instead of trying to transform God into our own broken human image and likeness. So that promise of obedience is the single most difficult promise to make to God. Now, all said and done, I've got to leave St Gerard's. That is something I don't do lightly. It is physically painful for me to do so. But it's what God is asking me to do. And that's what I promised God I would do on the day of my ordination. To be obedient to his will, to go where he sends me. And all these years, if it had been my choice, if it had been my decision, I would never have left St John's in East Frankston, the parish where I was baptised. Which means in 2008, I would not have spent a year as a seminarian at St Monica's Marie Ponds, or 2011 as a deacon at St Gerard's North Greensborough, or 2012 as a deacon at St Mary's Basilica, Geelong. And I wouldn't have spent those 3 years as an assistant priest at St Fidelis Moorland. And all these experiences in the parishes, they made me into the priest you see me here today. And this 2 years at St Gerard's has continued to forge, change and shape me, growing into the image and likeness of God. Now that promise of holy obedience is not just something that priests make. It's something that every baptized Catholic is called to do. To be obedient to God's will, no matter the cost, no matter the sacrifice. And in my 2 years here at St Gerard's, I've been part of many groups of people who are truly obedient to God's will. Hopefully you'll humour me and allow me to mention a few of them. The first group I'd like to mention is the Society of St Vincent de Paul. There's a lot of need in this parish, and the members of this society, they give of their time. They make that profound sacrifice, and they're doing good works in God's name. So to any members of this society here tonight, I thank you for accepting me as your spiritual director these 2 years. And I pray that your good works will continue. The second group I'd like to mention are the Knights of the Southern Cross. At St Gerard's here, we are blessed with one of the youngest, most vibrant and most active conferences of the Knights of the Southern Cross in Australia. I've seen what happens in the parish where the Knights are actively involved. And I hope and pray that in whatever parish I go to, I'll be able to inspire more men to take part of that important ministry in the church. So for the Knights of the Southern Cross who are here tonight, thank you for the good work that you do. The third group that I'd like to mention is one that's especially close to my heart, and that's the Legion of Matey. This is the first parish where there's been a fully functioning Legion of Matey present. We tried to start one twice, St Fidelis, and it fell through both times. But it's been absolutely awesome to come to this parish and to take part in the spirituality of the Legion of Matey. And I thank God that at St Joseph's there's a conference there too, a presidium, and I'll be able to continue that connection. Now, there's two groups that I'm not part of, but I've worked closely with over the last 2 years. And I'd like to mention them. The first one is the altar servers of St Gerard's. I'm sure you've all noticed the small army of altar servers we have practically every Sunday at Mass. And that's part of a long-standing tradition in this parish. And I'd personally like to thank Uncle Ron and Fred for all the work that you do with the altar servers. All said and done, the work that Ron and Fred do, it wouldn't be possible without the altar servers themselves. And the altar servers would not be there if it wasn't for the help and support of the parents. So I'd like to thank all the people who help with the altar serving in this parish. And to the altar servers themselves, it would be a profound honour if one day I'm able to welcome you as a brother priest in this diocese. And it's usually from the ranks of the altar servers that we get future priests for the ministry. The second group that I work closely with, but I'm not part of, is the Parish Choir. Now, when I first attended here at St Gerard's, it was in Eugene's final year as choir director. And I didn't think that anyone would be able to do a better job than Eugene. And it's beautiful that Natasha Marsh has proved me wrong. Not only have you kept Eugene's good work going, you've surpassed him. But again, the amount of work that you do, it would come to nothing if it wasn't for the support of the choir behind you. And I'm really going to miss my Sunday afternoons. I'm usually having a quiet lunch. And right next door to me, you've got the choir practicing. It really is a foretaste of heaven, the sound of the heavenly singing. There's so many other groups, so many other people that I should mention. You've got the sacristans, you've got the floral arrangers, if that's even a word. You've got the people that do the cleaning, the chap that cleans the toilets regularly. That's important work. A thankless job that very few people would know about. You've got the people who do the collection, the counting, church cleaners, everything. And I thank each and every one of you. But there is one thing I would mention to you. The old adage of the harvest is rich, but the labourers are few. In every parish I've been to, it's always the same small group of people doing all the work. I encourage every baptised Catholic in the parish to get involved and to participate in the running of the parish. There's one final thing I'll leave you with tonight, and it's a special request. Oh, I forgot one other group. It's very small, very selective, and at this moment there's only 3 members in it. And that's a group of the presbyterate in this parish, the priests. So Father Joe, hiding away in the corner there as always. I stand in absolute awe of you. No member of my family has ever made it to the 80th year, so the odds are against me. But not only are you still standing, you are still serving. And I hope one day I'll have your vigour and keep on serving until the day I drop. And Father Arthur, you're part of the group of priests that I've spent years with. socialising with. I never thought or even dreamed I'd be assisting you in this parish at St Gerard's. And when the call came through, I had to ask twice to make sure that they weren't joking. But you're a good friend, an amazing mentor, and I thank you for all the help that you've given to me, this parish. I know Father Denton's come to a very good parish to finish him off and prepare him for the real work of priestly ministry. The final thing I would ask, usually when we hear talks and inspirational things, we do respond by giving a round of applause. I'd ask you not to do that here tonight when I finish the talk. The reason being, occasionally when we hear a talk, we can then respond by giving it a round of applause. And it gives us that psychological sense that we've done something, and we then move on to the next thing. That's why I ask you not to applaud tonight. If you want to show your appreciation, if you want to express your thanks for the work that I've done in the last 2 years, all I ask you to do is to practice the Catholic faith. The Catholic faith in its entirety. That is the greatest thanks you can ever give to any priest. To see souls preparing themselves to get to heaven. Let's see how obedient you are to my request. Let's see how many people are listening attentively. Please don't applaud. Just practice the Catholic faith. Thank you, and God bless.
I'm not sure if that was the people that weren't listening or just blatantly disobedient. But please do keep Father Williams in your prayers as he goes on to St Joseph's in Chelsea. They're very blessed to have him as their administrator, and it looks like right now we have a cake to cut. He said that we couldn't applaud, but he didn't say that we couldn't sing. Oh, here's a jolly good fellow.